Week one of the NFL season is already underway, and it's already week two. The season's going to fly by before we know it. But week one gave us a lot of insights as to whether or not some teams are going to be really good, some teams will be surprising, and some teams might not be as good as expected. Week one had plenty for us to talk about. So let's get right in this video and talk about the five most impressive headlines from week one of the NFL season. What's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz Link. I'm here with Dan Loya. Today, we are talking about the five most impressive headlines coming out of week one. Dan, it was a great week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, man. I'm happy football back. Football's back. It's football season, and we got more. We got more. We're just getting started, so real excited.
I don't think we can top the fact that there was two primetime leads blown back-to-back days and back-to-back games between the Ravens faltering and then the Bears faltering at the end of those games. I'm sorry for the fans of Ravens and Bears fans, but both really good classic games that we got in primetime football. Let's hope this Thursday night game between the Commanders and Packers lives up to the hype. Without further ado, though, Dan, I think it's time to get in this video. And we're going to start with maybe the most popular team out of them all, of the most impressive, the Los Angeles Chargers. Dan, what do you have for me on the Chargers and why they look like one of the top teams in the NFL out of the gate?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert, man, he gets a lot of flack online, but he played great. He played great in Brazil on Friday. 25 of 34 with 3 touchdown passes and 318 yards. I mean, the Chiefs' defense has always been underrated. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, and I mean, their whole offense looked great. One guy I want to point out as well on the offensive line is Joe Alt. They call him Joe Alt Delete because on 41 dropbacks or pass blocking sets, he allowed 0 pressures all game, which is just remarkable for the second-year tackle out of Notre Dame. So just overall impressed, and also Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson had 2 big touchdown grabs in the game. They drafted him 2 years ago out of TCU. So just overall, the offense played really well.
Yeah, I thought I was impressed. What I was most impressed with is the fact that they came out passing. Greg Roman basically built on their week 7 plus over, completion over expected, all those type of numbers, throwing the ball more. Herbert's EPA, we talked about this before, 0.44 per play, which is absolutely insane. Really good for Herbert.
Yeah.
I was most impressed with this receiver trio as well that they've built now over the course of the offseason. Quentin Johnston has always been pretty solid around the red zone, had 2 touchdowns in this one. Obviously, he's a little hit or miss on a week-to-week basis. You
Yeah.
had Keenan Allen, who's been really good over his entire career, still has a lot of juice left. I think we all saw that yesterday. And then you have Lad McConkey, who didn't even have a monster game, but he still had 74 yards.
No, he
Amarian
definitely
Hampton,
popped. He definitely popped.
yeah, for sure. And Amarian Hampton had a solid day. Tight ends had a solid day. The Chiefs just could not get over the fact that the Chargers didn't come out and run the ball more than they passed, never made adjustments. The Chiefs secondary was underprepared and did not look good, but Justin Herbert absolutely shredded the Chiefs defense and made them, look like basically front runners potentially in the AFC with this team. And even without Rashawn Slater, I mean, could you imagine Alt and Slater still in this offensive line?
Yeah.
They might be a juggernaut for the entire season. So, very impressed with what we saw with the Los Angeles Chargers this week. I think one stat on the defense that also impressed me, we know it's a good defense, but they had a 0.52 EPA per play against the run, which is really, really good. If they can stop the run the ball effectively, and run good play action, we know that's a good formula. We saw the Lions absolutely utilize it and terrorize teams over the last few years. Chargers are a team to watch out for in the AFC, and the Chiefs are going to have their work cut out for them for winning this division for another year. Dan, let's talk about our next headline. We are heading to Indianapolis. Is Daniel Jones good at football?
Hey, man, I mean, people forget he went to the school of Kevin O'Connell last year for a few games. He was on the practice squad. O'Connell worked his magic, and week one he looked fantastic. His nickname Daniel Indiana Jones. Man, he's running the show that down there in Indianapolis. He played great. Let's see, 22 of 29, 272 passing yards, 1 passing TD, 0 interceptions. He also
Yeah.
added 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Just like we had a video in the offseason, I said the Colts want to run kind of like a Philly offense, and when they got close on the 1 yard line in the red zone, man, they just ran big old 6'5" Daniel Jones, just like the Philly the tush push. That's what I'm trying to say, the tush push. So that's what they'll do with him too. But I just want to give a shout out. The Colts, they were perfect on Sunday. 7 possessions, 7 scores, perfect, 7 of 7 for the game, and also their offensive line. They only allowed 1 sack all game, and they're the greatest. They're graded the highest on PFF overall. Their offensive line, 86.5 pass blocking grade.
Nice.
Perfect game overall for the Colts.
Hey, it's rare to throw a perfect game in the MLB. It might be even more rare sometimes seeing what we saw from the Colts on offense, basically demolishing the Miami Dolphins, who we all expected to potentially even compete and win this game. And the Colts made a statement. You know, we had a quarterback competition in the offseason between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. And I was telling everybody, Daniel Jones elevates this team's ceiling. Anthony Richardson, right? If they moved on for him, like it was more of the fact that, or sorry, if they played him, was more the fact of the draft capital it felt like they invested. I felt like Daniel Jones was the better quarterback heading into the competition. And I think he proved that with how he performed. I know the Miami Dolphins don't have an upper tier defense. And sure, Daniel Jones might have his work cut out for him against those type of defenses. But the AFC South is incredibly weak, Dan. If the Colts can put together offensive performances like they did this week against the Dolphins, they're going to compete for that division title because the Texans have a ton of flaws on the offensive side of the ball. A player that, doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, is Michael Pittman Jr. I think last year was a down year for him with what the quarterback situation was. He had back injuries the entire season. He absolutely balled out in the first week, and I expect him to have a little bit of a bounce back year and his usage to be a lot better. But then there's Tyler Warren as well. Warren was the
Oh yeah.
highest graded tight end in the NFL in week 1. He had 7 catches. He's going to be an absolute Swiss Army knife for this Colts team the entire season. So a very fun player to watch over the course of the year. Let's get to our third team here. Aaron Rodgers turning back the clock, 4 touchdown passes in his revenge game versus the New York Jets. Dan, is prime Aaron Rodgers back?
Hey, you never know. He might be. He's 2 seasons removed from his Achilles injury, and last year he didn't look as mobile. He was real mobile on Sunday. I got a stat here. He's play action. He threw 3 touchdown passes off play actions. He was 8 for 10. He was moving outside the pocket. His arm's still really good. He's still got a
Hey,
live
that's what they
arm,
did
and
with LaFleur too. That flourished for Rodgers.
yeah. How many MVPs did he win over there
2. He
with
won 2 with
LaFleur?
LaFleur alone.
Exactly. So it's just, he's got a good fit over there in Pittsburgh, and also the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't thrown 4 touchdown passes since 2020. So it's a welcome sight for all their fans over there on the East Coast.
I think, listen, the running game is very concerning for me. I mean, a mix of
Yeah.
Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, and Caleb Johnson only got 1 touch. They really struggled, but Aaron Rodgers said, "Hold my beer. I'm going to take over this game." And that's absolutely what he did in this one. And it was a sight to see because Aaron Rodgers looked like he was moving around a lot better. He was
Yeah.
improvising. He was throwing off his back foot. Like everything looked really good and smooth for Aaron Rodgers, like we haven't seen in a year or two with him, and definitely not in New York last season. So I think with that, you have to be excited about it. The Steelers don't have a great group of weapons, but it's better than the supporting cast they've had in previous years. DK Metcalf gives them an actual explosive playmaker. Calvin Austin impressed me, and he looks like he's going to be their wide receiver too. I felt like the offensive line held up pretty well considering the fact that it's not an upper tier unit against a Jets defense that has been pretty good over the past few seasons. So things are looking up for the Steelers. We know they're going to be right around 500, but can they make some noise? And I think if Aaron Rodgers does perform like this throughout the season, I think this is a team that can win a playoff game if they improve on the defensive side of the ball, which I think they will. They added Jabril Peppers this week, so we'll see how much that helps them going forward. Dan, we're going to take it out to the stadium behind you in Las Vegas, Nevada. Geno Smith had a big day in his Raiders debut, and this offense showcased that they can throw the ball this year, which is something you couldn't say about the Raiders last year. What's
Oh, yeah.
exciting about this Raiders offense?
Yeah, it's a welcome sight for us over here in Las Vegas. But just like Gino said years ago, they wrote me off, but I didn't write back though. He performed great on Sunday in New England. It was a tough day to throw, man. It was rainy, it was windy. I mean, you saw Drake May airmail some balls. Gino played great. He's currently second in the NFL in passing yards with 362. Josh Allen passed him on Sunday, but overall, he's 24-34. He completed 70% percent of his throws. He threw 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But what the thing I'm most, you know, uh, excited about the offense is he spread the ball around. 7 different receivers caught a pass on Sunday. Uh, just we got a lot of weapons in Las Vegas, and Chip Kelly down and up. He came from Ohio State, the national champions. Well, the Raiders are going to have a real high powered offense this year, and I think this is only a sign of things to come for them.
Yeah, I mean, Smith had an 8.9% completion over expected. And I really like the weapons that he has at his disposal in Las Vegas. Trey Tucker's an underrated player. Deontay
Yeah,
Thornton's a high upcoming rookie, but the duo between Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers is deadly. These guys can go for 80 plus yards a week and absolutely shred you over the middle of the field. And it's scary. Hopefully Brock Bowers in knee issue. Obviously, we think it's nothing. Hopefully, it's not something that bogs them down long term. But this passing game is going to be deadly throughout the year. I'm interested to see with them, though, if their running game improves throughout the year. Their offensive line is not their strong suit, and their run blocking is not their strong suit. Ashton Genty is going to be a solid player, I believe, but if there's no
yeah.
blocking in front of them and the Raiders become one dimensional, I'm interested to see what happens with this team. And I think if Ashton Genty gets going, it's only going to open up the passing game more for Las Vegas. And you genuinely have four competitive teams in the AFC West, which is going to be an absolute dogfight in there. Our
Hey
last
Ryan, real quick.
What's
Sorry,
up?
real
What's
quick.
up? What's
I don't
up?
want to interrupt you, but I did watch the film. Okay, I did watch the
Okay.
film. I took some notes. Genty, there was two blocks in the first quarter. Jacoby Myers missed a block on an inside zone. If he hit the block on the guy in the middle field, it was either a linebacker or a safety. If Myers connected on him, Genty might have ran all the way to Las Vegas. I mean, dude, there was some near misses in the run game. There was 3 plays near misses. Myers missed the block, and Brock Bowers. So I think the running game's close, and Pete Carroll, he's going to stay true to running the ball. So he's going. I mean, Genty, I believe he had 19 carries. So whether it's working or
Yeah.
not, they're gonna continue to pound the rock and just uh, do some play action behind it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good test for them this week against the Chargers, who, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, that they were really good against the run last week. Our
Yep.
final team, and maybe the loudest one of them all, the Green Bay Packers defense, Dan. This might be the
Yeah.
best Packers defense we've seen the last decade that they put out there on the field. They were dominant against the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19 touches for 31 yards, no running game whatsoever. Jared Goff was a dump down merchant because the Packers were dominant in this one. Dan, what do you like about this unit going forward the rest of the year?
I mean, I like them. I mean, they were pretty underrated last year, and now they've added a guy like Micah Parsons, who's only going to elevate your defense. I mean, it's special. It's going to be real special for them. I mean, I just have them behind Philadelphia. Even before the trade, I thought they're one of the NFC elite teams. Green Bay. I thought everyone was sleeping on them. Last year, they went toe to toe with the Eagles in Brazil, and this year they're only better. I mean, Micah Parsons, he only played 29 snaps on Sunday. He generated 3 pressures and 1 sack. But overall, as a whole, the defense was flying. 4 sacks as a team, 9 tackles for loss. The potent Detroit Lion offense couldn't run the ball, and then that's what Jared Goff wants to do. They want to run the ball, and they couldn't do that. The defense was flying, and it was real impressive showing for Green Bay.
Yeah, that they have a good combination of things that I like on the defensive side of the ball. They stop the run really well. It feels like their front seven has been built for quite some
Yeah,
time, and they're not bad against the run now the last 2 years. And I feel like that group is formidable now as to how
yep,
they looked the other day, which is good. Now they have Rashawn Gary paired with Micah Parsons on the edges, which helps
yep.
cover up the secondary issues because we know the weak spot on this defense is their cornerbacks. But if you can rush the passer fast enough, you can't get through your reads as a quarterback, and those
Yeah,
guys are not as bad because the plays are speeding up a lot, right? You have Xavier McKinney
yep,
over the top too, which makes a big time difference. Like this Packers defense accounts for their weaknesses by adding Micah Parsons. It was such a good move for them, being able to really strengthen a pass rush that needed one more guy. Now you
yep.
cover up holes in the secondary. And I think the biggest concern for me, I think, on their defense is their coverage against tight ends over the middle of the field, stuff like that. The Packers were good against them last year, but Quay Walker really struggles in coverage at times. I feel like he's a guy that, offenses might pick on, but I'm nitpicking at this point. This defense is going to be really good this year. And, paired with Matt LaFleur on the offensive side of the ball, the Packers are going to be good as anybody in the NFC. Well, guys, our 5 biggest takeaways from week 1. Let us know down in the comment section below which one surprised you the most and which one do you think is going to carry the course of the NFL season and lead into the postseason. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content. And me and Dan We'll catch you guys next time.